Yo, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got some awesome information for you guys like always, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with this beautiful direct feed gameplay footage of Yokai Watch 4 running on the Nintendo Switch. Level 5 published two separate videos, which was a promotional video of some sorts, and then also just direct feed gameplay from Tokyo Game Show. And guys, when this game finally does launch on the Nintendo Switch in Japan, it is going to be huge, and I think that they really have an opportunity here to make this the best-selling and biggest Yokai Watch game in the West. It has the makings of that. It is just this rare mix or hybrid of what they've done before with Yokai Watch, but then also like an action RPG as well. Kind of reminds me of Ni no Kuni just a little bit. It has the aesthetics, it has the look. The combat looks really engaging, and it actually looks better than what we saw from the off-screen footage, obviously that, but also some of the frame rate stuff that was going on. It looks like there's some of that here because they're still working on the game. You also have to remember that it was recently delayed from fall or winter 2018 to next year. So that's one thing that they're probably going to be working on. But when it comes to the graphics, when it comes to the combat system in place and just the effects and everything, it just looks phenomenal. The game has never looked better when it comes to Yokai Watch. Obviously, they're jumping from the Nintendo 3DS to the Switch, and it makes sense. There was somebody that said that there was a screenshot that basically showed off that Yokai Watch looks like the prototype of Yokai Watch before it went to the 3DS, and that's exactly what it's doing right here. But I actually think it looks a little bit better than what they showed off all those years ago, which was from like the PC or something like that. So really cool to see Yokai Watch and this video. I'm glad that Level 5 actually released something because they did recently delay the game, so I'm really happy that they actually released some little bit of a treat for fans out there because of the delay, and a 10-minute gameplay video definitely did it for me. I think it looks phenomenal, and like I said, this has a chance to be the best selling Yokai Watch game in the West. I know that's not saying much because the franchise has had a slow start here in the West, but I think really it's just because it wasn't on systems. It wasn't on the Switch. It was on the 3DS. That's the only reason. Everyone was anticipating the Switch, and the 3DS was already kind of just being downplayed a bit here in the West, and I think that now that this is coming to the Nintendo Switch, it's going to be a whole different atmosphere. It's going to be a whole different type or vibe, and people are really going to gravitate towards it if it's a solid game. And based on what I'm seeing here, it's definitely looking like it's going to be a pretty good game. The plot of the game looks cool. They always do a good job with stories. Level 5, they're good storytellers, so you always know that you're going to get at least a halfway decent story in their games. And if you combine that with the excellent gameplay that we've seen so far here, it's got to iron out some of those wrinkles. I think Yokai Watch 4 is going to be fantastic, and it's looking great. And I think next year for Nintendo Switch, when it comes to just how things are going to do in Japan, because the biggest impact for this game is going to be Japan. Japan is going to see that because they're a lot more into Yokai Watch than the rest of the world. But I think this is going to cause a huge boon in sales. And I think that it's also good because Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is dropping at the end of this year, right? We're getting that November 16th or so. So I think that it's a good idea to kind of just separate the two and put a little bit of distance, and it can give people a little bit of a buffer before Pokemon 2019 comes out. So I think it's a good idea overall, and they can work on the thing. So I think it's a win-win situation for pretty much Level 5, Nintendo, everybody involved. They get a better game out there. They also get some buffer time in between Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Pokemon 2019. It's going to be somewhere in between that. I think that it's going to sell better. And like I said, this could be the best selling one in the West whenever it decides to come over, because we know Level 5 can sometimes take a long time. But I feel that Nintendo's going to publish this one in the West. I feel that Nintendo would probably pick it up in the West and publish it themselves on the Switch, so we could get a faster localization than what we usually get. So we'll have to wait and see how Nintendo and Level 5 decide to do it. But overall, I'm excited after watching this 10-minute gameplay video and the new promotional video as well. It's looking very good. So what do you guys think about Yokai Watch 4 on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the next topic here, I want to talk a little bit about the sad realization of mobile games and what Nintendo's doing in that space and what these consumers want. It's pretty obvious that mobile consumers want microtransactions and want these things. They do not want complete experiences without them. Because I was looking at this chart for Dragalia Lost, that is the new mobile game from Cygames and Nintendo, and it generated 16 million in its first 2 weeks. I'm looking at that, not so bad. But then there was a comparison between Fire Emblem Heroes, Animal Crossing, and Super Mario Run, Nintendo's other mobile games they put on the market. Now, by far, Fire Emblem Heroes has been the top with 34 million plus in its first 2 weeks. Very good. At the bottom was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp at 9.8 million. Right there near the top was Super Mario Run with 15.6 million. And then right below that was Dragalia Lost with 13.5 million. Now, the revenue chart that you guys are seeing at this point, that is just the US and Japan. So I did say 16 million, but that's with all the different areas combined. This one is just US and Japan. So 13.5 million, with most of that coming from Japan. But look at how close Dragalia Lost, a brand new IP that nobody really knew about, Nintendo just made up with Cygames, compared to Mario. And it was actually really close. Mario, or at least Super Mario Run, I should say, is a complete game, right? Like, there are no microtransactions. You just buy the game outright. I think it's like 10 bucks. And that game did 15.6 million in the first 2 weeks. And that's Mario. Everybody knows who Mario is. Dragalia Lost did 13.5 in the first 2 weeks as a new IP. I just could not believe that. I find that mind-boggling that this is what mobile consumers want. They want microtransactions. They want free-to-play, microtransaction to outgame, and just spend their money on that. This is pretty clear. Fire Emblem Heroes, I think Super Mario Run, and now Dragalia Lost at this point kind of show this is what mobile consumers want. So it is what it is there. I've downloaded Dragalia Lost. I'll talk about it just briefly. I think it's a good game, but the bane of me will always be mobile games. My finger's in the way. I can't see the action, just tapping on a screen. I don't want to play these games on mobile. That's just pretty much what it comes down to. I know a lot of them are fit for that, and they make controls for left or right hand, and I know people like Dragalia Lost. I get it. People like playing games on their phones, but I just can't do it. I've tried with Dragalia Lost. I've honestly tried with Fire Emblem Heroes. I think I've played a little bit of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I don't even remember. But either way, I've tried with these mobile games, guys, and I just can't do it. If Nintendo ever releases an actual home console version of Dragalia Lost with not the same game with the microtransactions and all that, but something in the same universe, kind of like Grand Blue Fantasy Link or whatever that they're doing for the PlayStation 4, if Cygames and Nintendo linked up for something like that on the Nintendo Switch, I'd be more than happy to play more of Dragalia Lost. But unfortunately, it's just not something that I'm going to continue playing. Although I do think it's a good game. I had fun while I was playing it. It's just not for me with the mobile and the tapping. I just can't. Tapping to attack enemies is just not my thing. I just don't like it. I just don't like it as much as other people do. So these stats were from Sensor Tower, so you guys can check out more details, link in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about this dynamic with Fire Emblem Heroes, Mario, and Dragalia Lost and what they've done, and how are you liking Dragalia Lost so far on your mobile device? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, I'm moving into the final topic here. It seems like Corpse Party Blood Drive is coming to Nintendo Switch because we've got a brand new ESRB rating from them. So the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, or ESRB for short, has rated Corpse Party Blood Drive for the Nintendo Switch. The team Gris and 5PB developed survival horror game was first released for the PlayStation Vita back in July 2014 in Japan, followed by October 2015 in North America and Europe, and iOS and Android versions were released worldwide in February 2017. So is this game not out for any other system? There's no PlayStation 4 version. It seems that way. So here's a little bit of a description of the game. I've heard about it, but I've never really researched this game much. So this is a survival horror adventure game in which players help students escape a haunted school. From the overhead perspective, players traverse environments and avoid monsters and interact with various objects and characters. Cutscenes sometimes depict various acts of violence, a man stabbing himself with a knife, a character crucified and burned. Violence is also described in text. She continued to hack at me again and again from behind. I could hear the sound of blood gushing into the air from the gaping hole above my neck. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stop with that. There's definitely more stuff that they say about this game, and it gets a little bit more graphic as you go along. So there you go, ESRB rating Corpse Party Blood Drive for the Nintendo Switch. Is this the type of game that you'd like to play? Because I have no idea. I've just heard about it on different sites and people talking about the game. I don't know if it's actually really good. I heard that there's kind of really bad voice acting with the localization and other things, so we'll have to wait and see until we get official confirmation, but it does seem like it is coming over to the Nintendo Switch, and it was already on Vita, so people do like to play this style of game portably, I'm guessing. But with the Switch, you'll have your first home console version to where you can play it on the TV as well. It was on iOS and Android, so there you go with that. I wonder how it played on there, what people think from that perspective. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed here? Yokai Watch 4, Dragalia Lost, and the mobile section that loves microtransactions, and Corpse Party Blood Drive being rated by the ESRB. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting PlayerEssence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube membership. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace!